Welcome to the Randumb Show. Inside knowledge on TV, pop culture, and game shows with the executive producer of Let's Make a Deal and The Price is Right, Mike Richards. Joined by me, Beth Triffin, the shortest moral compass on podcasts, according to Mike. And now, the Randumb Show.
Welcome to the Randumb Show. I'm Mike Richards, sitting right over there on a high chair.
And a low mic.
And a low mic is Beth Triffin.
Hello.
How are you today, Bethany?
I'm really good.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you've got your splint off. You took it off.
I took it off because we have a photographer here.
We do.
Oh,
Ed
neat.
is here, and if you're clicking in the background, there he is. I'm looking right at the lens, and
Cheesing it up.
now I'm a cat.
Oh,
now I'm a lion. Oh, you're not going to wear that for the photo shoot, are you?
Yep, this is what I'm wearing.
You seem to be in great spirits.
I am.
And I don't know if that's because sitting right next to you is the first ever male model from The Price is Right. Rob Wilson is here. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Boston
Yay.
Rob, as I like to call him.
There it is.
So
He's
we're
got a hat
here.
and everything.
He's got the Boston hat and the Boston tank top.
I have the Boston hat and the Boston tank top. It's a big day in Boston, and big day for me. Last day on Price is Right aired this morning.
Yeah, so that's why you're here, which was... I had to watch that show a few times. We edited it and wanted to make sure it came out great. What was that like? And everyone should know, by the way, that Rob wanted to stay home from 10 to 11 to make sure he could see the final episode.
This is true. This is true.
Which is, in the end, when you're the executive producer of a show, as I am, you're looking for... yeah, that's what I do for a living. It's not just the podcast.
Is that why you have
He was
this
graceful
office?
enough to let me push this back 30 minutes so I could see the end of the show.
But it's because Rob's a pro and he actually cares.
True.
Which is why the people that have hired you are lucky, and I mean that in all sincerity. They're lucky to have you.
No,
DVR wasn't going to cut it.
DVR was good.
No, he wanted to watch it live with the rest of the world.
I had to.
But
Easy.
so you're here because it was your final episode. It aired today on The Price is Right because you're moving on to star in a soap.
Yes. Started working back in January. I got some really great news over the Christmas break when I was actually lucky enough to be back home with my friends in Boston. I got an amazing call, and I'm back in the soap game. All My Children had ended a few months before that, and
so people may not know this. We had you. You were doing All My Children and Price is Right at the same time.
Right.
All My Children is a digital play,
right?
And did the whole series go away, or what?
Well,
happened?
yeah, just there were some complications with production, and some issues going on with another show that the company had produced, which was One Life to Live. There was some character issues with ABC, and that kind of trickled down to All My Children. And when One Life to Live got shelved, we were in full system go. When the writers were writing, we were waiting to go back. And then when that kind of got pushed to another level, we got shelved as well. So at that point, all of our contracts were kind of up in the air. They gave us the freedom, and thank God I got a call.
And you landed something
later.
like really soon.
Yeah, so like a couple months after the release of All My Children was being shelved indefinitely. That's when it happened. So it was a blessing, man.
That's huge.
It was a blessing, man.
It
really
shows
was.
resilience to be able to book really the only other person in this room
Who's a soap star.
who is a soap star is me. I've been on.
That's true.
I've been on three. I've been on two different soaps as well.
Killed it.
I mean, let's just CBS, whatever. It's high
Killed
rated.
it.
Am I a great actor?
You guys are soap pros.
Because Rob, you may not
I
know
would
this.
look
Beth is actually an actress.
But I'm not a soap.
No, because when Rob sat down,
Well,
I can feel it. She's got a good energy.
yeah, when Rob sat down, he goes, "So is this what you do for a living, the podcast?"
I was like,
Because we pay her in gum.
yeah, I pretty much. I always am
how she
like
gets
after
paid?
this podcast, I go to the kitchen, I grab a Perrier and a gum for the
Wait,
week.
you've upped it to Perrier?
Yeah.
Whoa,
I'm not
whoa,
even
Biz
taking
Grove.
like a mountain.
We gotta shut that
geyser
down.
or
What is it?
whatever
Trident
water
layers?
in there.
Is that what?
Trident
they do?
layers,
Trident
yeah, maybe.
layers.
I think it's It's Orbit.
Oh.
Orbit layer.
Yeah, I take Orbit.
Today's podcast brought to you by Orbit. It makes even Beth's breath smell
Because
good. That's
Oh,
it's
yeah, there it
amazing.
is.
It makes
There it
even
is.
Beth's breath smell good.
It's amazing because literally I run out of my last piece of Orbit on Mondays, and then I always know Tuesdays.
Hey, Tuesday's coming.
It's
It's
Orbit
podcast
Day,
Tuesday.
and I'm pumped. For
Perfect.
my free Orbit.
But Beth, you know
Perfect.
how hard it is to
Yeah.
continue to land roles, and this one's just as big a role.
Yeah, it's I'm contracted. It's a great role. It's something the agency and the casting had told me before I agreed to it, because they didn't tell me much about it at all, really, until I even agreed, and they offered
Really?
it. Yeah,
So you didn't know what the role was?
They kept me in the dark quite a bit.
I happen to know what the role is, but I know we
Yeah.
can't talk about it. We can't talk even about what soap it's on, not because of CBS or anything, but because we're a part of the slow rollout. It's been announced in Soap Digest.
Literally yesterday, Monday morning, they brought out a couple things, but nothing was confirmed with the show or anything like that. So
smart. I love it because this is how publicity works in this town.
It's
Beth.
crazy, man.
They're creating
it's so
a void.
Crazy. It's so ridiculous, but
no, it's great.
It is great. It's fun to be a part of because it's hard to explain, and I like things it's hard to explain. It's pretty complex. And it's really not that complex, but
no, I like that it's complex.
It's awesome, and the role is awesome. I'm having a ball with it. It's blowing up. I'm working pretty consistently, which was another blessing, and I'm just learning a lot, man. I felt like my experience with soaps kind of got cut short, and it's nice that this came and I can finish my my degree, I guess, in soaps.
Yeah,
and keep moving from there. I hope.
So now we found you. Like a year and a half ago? Is that about
October,
the timing?
October, I'll never forget. October 5th was my first day on Price is Right. October 5th, 2012.
And you were part of the male model search, which we put together with the high hopes of finding someone.
Yes.
But always with it in the back of our minds because we didn't really go after like the modeling agencies. I mean, we did. We talked to them and they knew about it, but we didn't push for a proper like what you would really do if you were casting a show. We wanted to leave it open to where people could come in. The agencies were encouraged to send people. Some people were above that and didn't want to come in, and some people went, "Hey, work's work, and I'll take it, and an opportunity is an opportunity."
That's it.
And you came through the door like everybody else, even though you've worked quite a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, without a question, I mean, they actually. I was part of that group that the agency had told us about it, but I mean, I could have looked online and seen like. The radio interviews and things like that they were doing.
Right,
to
we were
promote it.
everywhere.
It was
at
everywhere.
That point, yeah.
So when I showed up, I had been in rooms where cattle call auditions for years now since I started acting about 5 years ago. However, nothing could compare to the turnout I saw at Studio City, CBS. When I tell you thousands, I'm not exaggerating. Wow.
Yeah, it was like it was like lined up around the whole lot.
There were news crew vans. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like holding. I was like, I didn't know what I was really showing up for, like to do. So I had like my portfolio, my headshot, my comp cards. I was like, this is nothing like that. This is like on another level. Like it was crazy. But I was pumped to be a part of it.
Did you know anyone like standing out there? Did you? See
As a matter of fact,
friends?
I saw people I always recognized from town, but there were people from everywhere, all walks of life. Yeah, people, not just like people here in LA.
Yeah, it wasn't all models, Beth.
It was insane. When I tell you.
Some crazies.
There was some people that thought they were models.
It was epic.
But unfortunately were not.
But
we did really...
They have good self-confidence, good self-esteem.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The line between confidence and crazy is itty-bitty thin. Itty-bitty thin.
Smaller than a Trident layer, an Orbits layer.
Brought to you by Orbits.
Brought to you by Orbits.
Even Rob chews it. And you go through the process, and I actually remember very little about the entire process because we're producing our TV show that we do.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then we're producing a web series on top of it, and trying to and then I was on camera at the last second. Someone else was supposed to be on camera, and they weren't allowed to do it. And so then I got forced into it, which I like being on camera. I'm not being precious about that, but I was not ready for it. I was not thinking that was going to be my role. And so
at the table, you mean?
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be there. I was supposed to be a casting person.
No way.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's me, which is, again, fine. I'm comfortable being on camera and everything, but it was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to you that you had a really bad showing. Remember, like midway through, you had a rough, and I was like,
yeah,
what?
Man.
Because there were like 5 guys from the earliest auditions that we were like, hey, that guy's really good.
Yeah.
Good personality. Because it's not just about looks. It's about personality. It's somewhat about athleticism, presence, being able to speak. There's a lot to it. The good ones make it look easy, and the bad ones go, wow, that is really bad. And we had a lot of bad, and we had a few guys that were good. But I remember a moment where I was like, what? And I remember talking to Gwen, Rachel, Manuela, and Amber about like, what happened to Rob? Like what? And then I wasn't going to say it. And I was like,
what happened? What was so wrong?
That moment for me changed everything.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember the moment where I was like, I think I'm back in the running now because I just goofed off and I lost it. And I was like, I forgot about everything. And I was like, let's just see what happens. But previous to that, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen right now. I don't know.
I forget what it was. You were just, here's the thing. Rob's a pro. So he took it very seriously from the beginning. This was not, there were some guys that took it as a joke and that worked to their favor. There were some guys that took it very seriously, but every day that I've ever seen Rob on set, pro, there to work, not there to socialize. He's not, texting and being distracted. Like he's there working. And I think in this process, it was long and grueling and late nights and brutal. You took it super seriously and like it was like automaton.
Yeah,
like it was not. And because you were like, I'm hitting marks, I'm doing this stuff.
Yeah.
and I called you out on it.
Thank God.
And you were like properly irritated, not unprofessionally irritated.
F off, Mike.
Like,
Right.
I am about to go Boston on your ass right now, Richards.
Oh my God.
Which was tough
no,
because
not
We've
at
all
all.
had that feeling. We've all
crave
had that
for criticism,
feeling
man. You
being
can't
with
get any better.
Mike.
You have to, no matter what you're doing. I don't care what you do. You have to be criticized. You have to
Sure.
look at your work. I don't care what you do.
And I wasn't being mean. Like
no.
there were, but nobody. Yeah, I was being constructive because there were some where I was not. I was just like, dude, you're terrible. What are you doing here? Let's call the whole thing off. But I remember the whole thing pivoted for you, and that's when you just became. You went from being like top 5 to literally the next time I was done, and the other
awesome.
girls had saved you.
Wow.
And it was, the producers are involved and everything as well. And I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't know what just happened to him. And do you give him a reprieve based on what he's done in the past episodes, or is it about this challenge? If it's about this challenge, he's done.
Yeah.
If it's about his work up to that point, then he gets a pass. We all decided it was about the whole thing and not just that one thing. And that's what got you to the next thing. And then you started to kill it and then became what everyone saw on camera, every day on The Price is Right.
Yeah, that was one of the epic experience, man. It's funny when you were asking if I knew anybody in that whole lineup. I recognized faces, but in the process, that when we kept getting narrowed down, one of my good friends who actually doesn't live in LA anymore, Jason, was in that lineup all the way to the 10 of us till there were 10 of us.
Wow.
So we were next to each other the whole time, kind of like, oh my God, man, like, what are we doing right now? This is like the craziest experience. Like, we were in a firing range with our shirts off, and we're standing next to each other, and we knew each other very well. He was one of my first friends in LA. He used to live in my building. So, like, here we are going through this crazy experience together, and it's funny because nobody really knows that.
Yeah.
I remember Jason. He was good,
though.
too.
He was great,
He was good
super cool
personality.
guy, yeah.
Well,
He's one of my good
I
friends.
followed it really well because I knew a guy in the top 5.
Who was that?
His name is Clint Brink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, Evelyn loved Clint.
Really?
As
Evelyn.
Not more than you, but like she was the one. She was the one.
Let's
that
go egg her office.
I think that's a great idea. Let's go egg Evelyn's office. I think that's fantastic. Evelyn's a co-executive producer of The Price is Right. So, no, there was something really like authentic about Clint, and I felt like he was putting us on. Like it was like kind of a joke. Not that he was taking it as a joke, but everything was like, I don't know. It was just something was rubbing me the wrong way, and he wasn't taking it like, not that you had to have fun with it, but you had to take it seriously.
Yeah.
The whole thing just seemed like this is lame, and I'm above it. To me,
This is the inside. I've never heard any of this. This is really inside edition for me.
So and then here's the other awkward moment from Male Model Search.
Oh no.
I go to some wedding, and one of the guys that made it into the top 10 or top 8 or whatever, his family was at the wedding, and they're like, oh, and I'm talking to them, and we've all had a couple drinks, and they're like, oh yeah, our son, I thank God I forget his name, was on it, and I guess you went after him a little bit, and I was like, and my wife looks at me like, did you?
No.
I'm like,
Drink, please.
yeah, I'm gonna need 4 drinks stat
right
and
now.
I said, and I remember, and then I was like, I'm so sorry. Which one was he? We had thousands of people show up, and they're like, oh, he's the one that you went after. And I was like, nah, that's still not helping. Because I didn't really go after I wasn't there to be Simon Cowell. I was there to try to make everyone
Find the best
their
model.
best
hands
and
down, yeah.
save the television show that we were doing.
The fact that you weren't supposed to be, or we didn't expect to be
I
on
didn't
camera,
expect
is
it.
crazy because that, it was intimidating to see like beautiful girls and like you're being judged by women. For all of us, was like, oh god, this is kind
that's
of
gotta be
awkward.
rough.
But also the boss in the mix, and it just adds another layer, like Orbit's layer. And
Jen
it was
Bisgrove,
that's
choose
crazy.
Orbits.
We need
That's
to
crazy.
call Orbits right now and get a sponsor.
Get a sponsor right now.
Yeah.
I'm chewing it right now.
Right now.
Yeah, so that was an awkward moment from it. Rob, have
it.
you ever, in your travels out here, have you been on a game show before?
Have I been on a game show?
like as a contestant.
No, I've never been.
Beth, have you ever been on a game show as a contestant?
No.
Well, guess what?
Oh.
It's time for the Randumb Show Game of the Week. It's called Soap or Nope. So I'm going to read to you.
I like this this game already. I think this one's gonna be.
So
fun.
I'm going to read to you actual storylines from soaps or made-up storylines from soaps.
Oh, this is.
And you guys are going to weigh in. You're going to say
be
whether you
tricky.
think it's true or false. You'll say soap or nope. And the winner gets a humongous cash prize as long as it's not Beth.
Do I get 2 orbits this week? 2 packs of orbit this week if I win?
Orbits, 2 packs is better than 1. All right, so the first one, soap or nope.
Oh God.
An orangutan named Precious is hired to care for a character's ailing mother. Precious developed a crush on a human character in the show, and when Precious left town, she took photos of her crush with her on the train and released them out the window to prove that the chapter of her life was over. Is that a soap or nope?
That's very detailed. That's very detailed.
Now, we did spend a lot of time coming up with these, so don't let the detail throw you off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is just like Wait, Don't Tell Me on
It is.
NPR.
It is. Okay, wait, I'll do it that way.
It's a
hey, wait, let me do it.
chimpanzee-
Let me
hang on.
do
This is
it.
the bottom line. It's all about the intro. It's a chimpanzee named Precious.
Yeah.
Let me do it. Yes, it's an.
I
Okay.
think it's-
Let me do it as
All right.
NPR.
Okay.
I got my choice.
An orangutan named Precious is hired to care for her character's ailing mother. Is that? Welcome back
So
to
that's a
NPR.
Lionsgate
Good
film.
job.
Pretension. You can hear it in my voice, and you can see it in my face. Soap or nope?
Nope.
I think it's so.
I can't keep my microphone.
Saying nope.
up. So you're saying you're
I
saying
think-
soap,
yeah.
and and Rob is saying nope.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I think that's no. I think it's no.
You
I'm
think
gonna
it's
go
nope.
with no.
Can you not play by the game? It's soap or nope.
Nope.
Okay. And both of you are incorrect. That is a real storyline
way, dude. No way. Are you kidding me?
from a soap named Passions.
Oh my
Passions.
Oh my God! I remember Passion.
Yeah, I worked with Lindsay Hartley. Lindsay was on Passions. Oh,
should
that's
ask her
terrible.
about the
Can I do
orangutan.
a
Are you
line?
kidding me right now?
Can I do a line
I'm
from
done
Passions?
right now.
I
Do a
saw
line.
Passions once as
Okay.
like a middle schooler,
right.
and
Oh.
I just remember they were in this beach house, and this girl was like making herself a drink, and this guy walks in with a tank top and like a
Did it say
canteen of
Boston on it?
water, and he was all sweaty.
Because Rob has a Boston tank top on. I was just
she
wondering.
drinks, she takes a drink, and she goes, ugh, and she takes a drink of her vodka, and she goes, "Where have you been?" And he goes, "I was in the rainforest trying to find a cure for cancer."
Yeah.
The hell?
And I'll never forget it. It
That's
was
it.
amazing.
And that's another cold read from Beth Griffin.
It was amazing. I was like, what?
What's the name of your management company in case there's someone out there that wants to cast you? All right.
They're gonna find it. They'll find
Yeah,
it.
you'll
They'll
find-
dig it up.
That's
Rob
at Beth Triffin.
What my
What's your Twitter handle? So
Oh, it's Beth Trippin. Yeah, that's my
At-
name. At Beth Trippin. At the twin.
At the twit. All right, next one. Soap or nope? An evil scientist creates a machine that plunges the world into an ice age, all so he can get his hands on a diamond called the Ice Princess. The Ice Princess. Soap or nope?
Oh man, there's something really weird coming to mind.
About plunging into an ice age?
Yeah, but no.
I think it's no.
I could be really wrong.
Are you
What
remembering
is
something?
the guy? He's a
He's
what?
an evil scientist.
Franco had some weird scientist thing on General Hospital, and I don't. Or he was like he played a crazy lunatic. But I
He
don't
really knows soaps.
Yeah, I was
listen.
gonna
I
say.
did when
I got my one
when I
line
figured
from
out where I was
Passions,
headed.
and that's it.
I had to
You
do a
decided
little.
to get
I
into it,
had to figure out where I was going. With
Okay,
everything.
Beth.
I think it's nope.
I'm gonna say nope.
And you were both incorrect.
Oh
That is indeed a soap.
This is horrible.
What am
You had it. It was General Hospital.
It was General Hospital.
Yeah, it was
I was
General
right.
Hospital. Yeah.
Oh no.
I wasn't sure of everything about him. I was like, I knew he did
Let's
something.
find out if that was
crazy.
Franco's role.
Was that Franco's role? Then I should be a yeah. No,
You
I
should-
still said
maybe
no.
you should give it to him.
Damn.
All right, the score is 0-0, so we've got a real barn burner here. All right. Next, after
Oh,
an
my.
arm transplant from a convicted criminal, the patient loses control of the arm, ends up killing the character's brother, but the brother ends up coming back to life.
I think that's real. Soap.
That's a soap.
I'm so blown away by what I just did.
I know you're so upset.
Do I want to listen to you again?
No, don't listen.
No, don't listen to her. You don't have to agree. It's better if you don't.
I'm gonna say nope.
I'm just saying it's better if you don't because then there's a game, not because you should be. So you decide on your own. I didn't mean to give you a clue.
I think it's soap.
You think it's soap and you think it's nope?
Nope.
And you are correct.
Yeah.
That is a made-up storyline.
That's a good one.
Brought to you by Mike Richards Incorporated
That's like
and
very
Jen Bisgrove.
Frankensteinish. I
That
like
was
that
very.
one.
That was very.
Yeah.
Frankensteinish.
That's Jen Bisgrove. Okay. 30 years after a woman had an abortion, she finds out the aborted fetus was actually transplanted into the doctor's infertile wife.
Wait,
Soap
can you say
or
that
nope?
again?
Sure. I'll do it in a language you can understand. 30 years after a woman had an abortion, she finds out the aborted fetus was actually transplanted into the doctor's infertile wife.
Oh.
Soap.
Soap. I think so too.
Now, I know Beth's guessing. Rob, do you know?
I don't know. I was more sure about the Franco thing, and I still was wrong. So
you're both saying soap.
This sounds like
absolutely correct.
Nice.
Good job.
Hey,
all right,
there it is.
1-2. Rob still with a commanding lead. A woman who is stricken with terminal breast cancer and meningitis has a dream in which she.
We've lost Mike.
A woman who is stricken with terminal breast cancer and meningitis has a dream in which she kisses her forbidden love. When she wakes, she is miraculously healed.
Okay. There's a lot of fantasy scenes in soap, so I'm giving you some, you know that. There's this obnoxious fantasy scene. So I'm going to say soap.
I don't know. I've never not known anything at all so much.
Oh, that's not true.
Except during this
This is not a bad thing not to know about.
I'm going to say no. Nope.
And you're going to be incorrect again.
Yes.
Rob, the score is now 3-1, which, because we only have one more question, means that you absolutely cannot win, Beth.
Okay.
But at least your streak is holding.
Yes.
Play for a consolation.
Let's do one last one. A man is flying solo and crashes his plane on a deserted island. Only it's not deserted. His evil twin is on the island, and when help arrives for the man, his evil twin pretends to be him and takes over his life back home.
I'm saying no.
Just no, not nope. It's no.
She can't play by the rules.
I'm going to say, actually, it's a plane that landed on an island. They're not going on location. So,
see, he knows.
Let me think.
Inside baseball.
Inside baseball.
He knows inside baseball.
I'm going to say nope.
You're both correct, but Rob wins because Rob is a winner.
Yeah, that's true.
So when you moved out here, you moved out 5 years ago.
4 years ago.
4 years ago?
4 years ago. Mm-hmm.
What was the goal?
Man, kind of along, knock on wood, the path I'm starting to get back in the rhythm into now. I wanted to act, and I was lucky enough to kind of fall into a couple roles and features. A lot of filming was going on in Boston at that time. I didn't know anything about acting; it wasn't in my cards at all. I wasn't a kid growing up in drama and theater. I played sports in high school. I grew up in Central Mass, where that really wasn't possible. There was not a inkling in me that I was like, I'm going to be a model or an actor. I actually was far from that. A little bit more reserved. In 2008, I kind of fell into a couple of auditions, castings that were giant cattle calls, not to this scale, but kind of similar. And I got a small part in a film called Bride Wars with Anne Hathaway, and I sat on set and I just got bit by the acting bug, I guess they like to say it. And from that point on, I kind of knew what I wanted and didn't really know about how to go about it.
Yeah, how'd you figure it? How does someone, like, it always blows me away, and Beth's heard me say this before, when Beth's from Ohio,
nice,
which, and just literally, I mean, Bisgrove from Wisconsin picks up. I'm from Burbank, so I have a similar story. Because literally, it's way over the hill.
It is.
You've got to go up Barham.
Valley.
And I'm from the Valley. Are you making fun of the Valley?
No, I'm
got a problem
saying
with
it's the Valley, which is different than here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
it is a whole 8 miles.
It's a different.
Okay, I live
and in
near
traffic,
Burbank.
that takes time.
That
8
takes
miles.
about 93 minutes.
Right.
Yep.
But I'm always blown away when people go, I'm going to go pursue what is basically a ridiculous dream. I mean, let's be all.
It really is.
And I group all three of you into this, which is you decided to move across the country with no real net, no real system of people that you know, and then I'm going to make it happen, which is really borderline insane.
Right.
If you really say it out loud, like, I'm going to move to Los Angeles, I'll make it in the TV. Like,
Absolutely.
that's literally,
Absolutely.
you, again, like an inch away from insane. An orbit's piece of gum away from being insane. So what,
Small,
what made
refreshing.
you, just like you, small, light, refreshing. It's the Beth of gum.
I told you she had a good energy. It's refreshing. She is. I knew she was.
is.
I knew she was in the
She's like
industry.
a cold shower. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what I
Oh
feel
my
when she walks
God.
in the room. Are you
Such
sweating
a
again?
Dick. Oh yeah, no. No,
Beth's-
last weekend I had like a serious hot flash.
No, Beth well, she doesn't look the right age, but she's going through the change. Beth is sweating again, and anytime we put a guy next to her, she just starts sweating uncontrollably.
Anytime you start to make fun of me, that's when I start to get worked up.
I like that we're taking pictures of this.
Start to
Okay,
get-
so anyway, back to Rob.
hilarious.
So what made you, like, it's insane. So what made you decide, I'm going to go make it in the TV?
You know, like I said, I knew what was going on in Boston, and I got lucky enough to get into that little small part, which was crazy. And that same weekend, I booked a feature that they flew me out here for pretty much a glorified extra in this movie called The Surrogates with Bruce Willis. It was directed by Jonathan Mostow. So kind of put me in a situation where it was like I felt like I had an opportunity that twice in the weekend I kind of felt like I kind of stood out a little bit, and I'm surrounded by these people who loved acting and loved this, and I didn't really know anything about it, and I think that's kind of what helped me. I was kind of careless about it. I wish I could care less now that I am so involved with it, but it's harder the more you kind of put yourself into it. But I got flown out here, did life castings and this crazy stuff for this film. And at that point, I kind of got blinded. I looked into New York. I was going to make a transition to New York, and I was looking at places. I was in Manhattan. I had worked with an agency there for modeling and things like that, and I was really trying to make that move there. It was closer to home. Thought it would be,
I was going to say
easier,
why?
I thought it would be easier. So I had him on my team. I felt good. I was looking around, and nothing was lining up. Nothing was lining up. This and that, and I finally was like, you know what? I had like a couple people I kind of knew in LA, and I reached out to him. I was like, I'm trying to get to New York. I want to go to New York and try to get some things under my belt. Then I go to LA with a stronger resume, and I can really hit the ground running like everybody else thinks they're going to do. And it wasn't lining up. And finally, I just like hopped on like good old Craigslist where it all goes down, and was like looking at places in LA.
Started giving massages.
No, Mike. I didn't do that.
No.
I got massages.
That's what Mike was doing. That's what Mike was doing to get out of Burbank.
Yep.
He had to get over the hill somehow.
Exactly. That car's not going to drive itself.
That's right.
That's hilarious. And in a nutshell, things kind of lined up, and I found a place out here, and I spoke to a couple people, and it all came together, and I just pulled the trigger and had my car put on a truck and moved it out here and hopped on a flight, packed up my giant puppy and put him in the cargo of American Airlines flight, and spent a bunch of money that I didn't have.
American
moving
Airlines,
out here.
the only way to fly.
The
no, wait,
only
that's
way to
Western
fly.
Airlines.
Yeah, something like that.
Western Airlines is from like the early 80s. I forget when it went out of
Mike.
business.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Old
You've never
man
heard?
Richard.
Old man. My dad flew for Western Airlines. It was a big part of my life.
I mean, I knew Western.
And then they were bought out by Delta, which is why you guys would know.
Okay.
So you had you've always had the kind of the Boston thing. You've always stayed super true to that.
Absolutely.
How big of an influence is Mark Wahlberg? Because for me, I literally worship him. I think he's the greatest person in the whole world.
Boogie Nights is a great movie.
Well, that's just because you like penis. But why, Rob?
Fair enough.
Gross. Never say that word again.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Mark Wahlberg is a huge influence. Not only just because he's from Boston, because there's so many actors that aren't just Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg from Boston. There's so many actresses and actors that are from that area, and a lot of people don't know that until you kind of dig into their info, and it's like, wow, they're from Massachusetts too. And I think it's just a strong hustle and a willpower, and it's really nice to see other people from kind of my neck of the woods and similar situations. Mark, something he just said the other night at this movie awards, he was really open about all this. He went from incarceration to being an underwear model to being a big actor. And I'm not saying I was a huge troublemaker, but I got all of my issues when I was a young kid out of my system at a young age and experienced the good and the bad. So it was able to help me focus a lot more and just keep my head focused somewhere.
Right.
And I think that's the hardest part when you go to new places. You get tempted by all this BS in this town.
Right.
And I just, I tried my best.
See,
not to
I
be
was a
tempted
really
by it.
good kid. I didn't ever wear underwear, and now I'm here. I don't know. See, I went the wrong way.
Mike's on a different level.
Yeah.
He's got a giant number one in his office because
right.
he's number one.
I'm number one. You know what that is?
He's a boss.
That's from there's a giant lit up one in my office, and that is because on Let's Make a Deal, the first 2 seasons, we instead of having monitors that said the numbers on them and stuff like that, we have door 1, door 2, door 3. We had just big, huge numbers.
It's
hung on
awesome.
them. And so
I'm
I got
all
the
about
one.
that.
I got
I
the
would
one.
just like to say congrats to Jen Bisgrove for finally hooking up this giant one and lighting it up. 'Cause
Hell
I think
yeah.
Mike asked me to do that for 2 years.
I think it's 3 years. No, Beth never said no. Beth never says no. She goes, "Oh yeah, okay."
And then I just was like,
He'll
no
forget.
in my head.
Yeah, no, and her and the assumption is that I'm going to forget because that's fair.
Fair.
And then like 3 months later, I'd be like, Beth, can you? Yeah, oh yeah, I'll talk to about that.
To electrics.
Now,
Turning it
electrical
on.
people to get it
No, the
plugged
power
in
people.
to things.
I just was like, no, there's way more important things to do than lighting up this giant one for Mike's office. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, because when I was giving you that, I was asking you to prioritize the different things.
We put
Right,
the ball in your
so
court.
it was
Bisgrove
like-
can get everything done.
Oh, well,
From the inane
more power to her.
to the important. She produces a podcast as well. Before we wind this up, Beth, the F list has started to trickle out. There's like short things that we were
They're
looking at.
blogs, yes.
Yeah, but they're video blogs.
Yes, they're video blogs.
So where can people find this? Because Beth produces and writes and stars in a very well done
Web series.
web series.
Nice.
I couldn't come up with a word.
Yes.
It's not really that tough of a word. And so the new season's coming soon.
Yeah, the new season's coming soon. We're starting to shoot our first episode next month. But in the
Awesome.
meantime, we do weekly blogs. And they're just like little snippets of
Make sure you
funny
catch.
actor
Where can we
life.
watch it?
Oh, you can watch it on YouTube. YouTube
Channel?
/ the F-List TV.
The
So
F-List.
wait, youtube.com / F-List TV. And we're also on Instagram, F-List TV, and Twitter at F-List TV, and on the Facebook.
And on the Facebook. And
On the Facebook.
make sure, because it's very timely, to check out the one this week because it has
yeah.
Easter in it.
It has Easter and mentions Passover.
Yes.
Holiday
Nice.
for Jewish friends. Yep.
Yes, it is.
Perfect.
Although I want to
We
say
are in Los Angeles.
we had trouble hearing the audio at the end.
Oh, did you?
So you might
We'll
want
work
to
on that.
punch it up because
Yeah.
it's the punchline
yes.
and you can't hear it.
Oh, that's funny. I thought I could hear it, but
Yeah,
that's fine.
we listened to it independently.
Got it.
But it's
That's good
really
to know.
funny. You should watch it.
No,
Oh,
our blogs
absolutely.
are like we just shoot them on the fly. We don't plan them. We
Yeah, they're
take
really-
an
but they're
hour
funny.
and just do them. Whereas our episodes are like
Full
we
episodes.
hire a big old
And it's-
crew
of
and all that
course.
stuff.
It's all
Of course.
about two actors trying to make it in town, and it's
Yeah.
based on Beth's and your partner in it, your
Sure.
actual life.
yeah.
And it's
a lot
funny.
worse, but yeah,
It's-
totally.
it's amped up, as all comedy
it's
is.
grounded in reality.
Right,
for
right.
Shizzle.
Well, that's awesome because it's very relatable, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is.
Especially here.
Especially here. Yeah,
Especially here.
I'm sure you've been through some
Absolutely.
good times.
Absolutely.
Beth, it's now time for the Beth story ever told.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Best story ever told.
The Beth story ever told.
That's
So every
it.
week,
This is
Beth,
awesome.
Beth has her life is literally a sitcom, and so we realize that she comes in with a story that is not believable every week, and so far so good.
This one today is my observation on just how crazy Hollywood is and how many things are done in this town. So
Oh, I can't wait.
I had, I was in Vagina Monologues this last.
And I love that I love saying in it. I was in the Vagina Monologue.
On my calendar, my iCal just says Vag Bonds every Sunday when we had to rehearse because I just was
Nice.
like, back to Vag
Wait,
Bonds.
so did you?
Back to veg.
Wow. And did you do it and you didn't tell us because you didn't want us to see it? Were you a Bosnian
It is
refugee?
not a Mike Richards show. Like, I'll let
But
you
isn't
know.
that why you want me to go?
No, it's not why I want you. I like the last thing I want to do before I start my first line of my Vagmon is know that you're out there. Like, to be honest, like I just don't want to deal with that.
What is the first line of your badge line?
My vagina was green.
Oh,
What?
It's supposed to be like fresh, like young. and
No,
new.
no.
Oh,
you should
my
know
vagina
that.
was yeah, right?
No.
It's
You
a
should have
very
seen Rob's
touching
face just now.
monologue.
I'm glad that your vagina
God.
is very touching, but
It's a touching monologue.
I wish you could have seen Rob's face when you said my vagina is green.
Hopefully
He was
we
like,
have a picture of it.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a
Damn.
sad monologue. It's a sad
I
monologue.
think a green
It
vagina
goes-
would make
yeah.
anyone sad.
Yeah. We're on the right
It's
track.
one of the only sad monologues. All the other ones are like funny. Whatever, it's fine. So we did
Is that
Vagmons.
like it's got moss on it? I don't understand.
No, like I'm like young and innocent, like before the Bosnian rape camp. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like young and then it was taken away. It's a really sad monologue. And a lot of people came. We raised like thousands of dollars
Which is
for our
great.
charity, which was amazing. And
What was the charity for?
it's a window between worlds, and they do art therapy for battered women.
That's right.
Wow,
And
that's awesome.
It's
a really good
really
charity. That's
amazing.
right.
And they're
Awesome.
down in Venice, and they're really cool. So we had a ton of Price is Right auction packet. We auctioned that off. Like
I had that. I was at
auction
my
packet.
kids' preschool. We did the auction packet. First of all, I don't think they put the Price is Right one out, which I think was just an oversight. I didn't see it. We couldn't find
really?
it. But we also did Let's Make a Deal, which we don't do very often. But we did, and like one person bid on it, and I was like, that's so embarrassing.
Damn.
no, some people
And you should
bid on
go
it.
to that show. Like it's a really great taping.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
of course.
fun taping.
But you got a bunch of people with preschool kids don't really want to leave their kid and dress up in a corn cob costume to go see a game show.
Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
Whatever.
so anyway,
So-
we raised money.
Yeah, we
thanks
raised
to the
money.
Price
It
is
was
Right.
awesome, and it wound up being like we had a really nice venue. We had a ton of people come, and really cool people come. Like we had a couple Emmy winners, like a ton of like writing staff, and some awesome producers, and we just wound up having a great time. And I went to bed being like, and a lot of people were like, "Oh,
I did
that was
something
the
great."
Yeah, I
That's
did
a
something
good
great.
feeling, man.
Like
That's a good feeling.
I acted, I blah blah blah. I talked to all these people and we just had this great dialogue going. Lo and behold, then I wake up at 6 a.m. because I got hired to be a stage manager on a reunion show for a reality show, a non-union like reality show, like a reunion thing. And so I woke up being all like, God, last night was intellectual.
Yep,
it was
yep.
fun. It was artistic. We had like a great dialogue going on. And then I woke up, drove to a studio in Torrance at like 6:30 in the morning and had to deal with like clear bra straps and like women punching each other at this reunion show.
Clear bra
It was,
straps.
like,
That's how it starts
so-
off that meeting.
You're
you're just headed in the wrong.
talk show
man.
reality show, and it just was really. We had a bodyguard like Springer style, like it was so ridiculous. And then I went to bed that night being like, this place is horrible. Like,
Damn.
what is this? This is a horrible
Damn.
place. So I feel like I really experienced like the pinnacle and like
Oh,
the
my God.
sludge bottom of like what this town has to offer this
The
weekend.
What was the
sludge
show?
bottom.
I feel like I shouldn't.
Yeah,
say
you
it,
should.
but I'll
Yeah.
definitely tell
We're not going to
you
bring up the show name at
afterwards.
Sludge
Come
Bottom.
on.
No, I know.
Was it called Sludge Bottom?
No, that's what I called it. I called it sludge bottom.
You attacked Jerks with Cameras, remember? Because
I
they attacked you.
know.
And
What?
then Fremantle Media bought the company that makes Jerks with Cameras.
I-
Just to
what
piss
is
you
that,
off, which
Jerks
I
with
thought
Cameras?
was
Camera
which
is
I thought
a
was really
hidden-
mean.
Hidden camera show where they
Paparazzi?
prank you.
Oh. Okay.
And I just was. This is the best story. A couple months ago, I pretty much went to Starbucks and I was totally pranked to have like a fight with a woman with a child, and I thought this child was in danger, and I got like very upset. And then of course it was like a hidden camera show, and it was
Okay.
And then Beth wouldn't sign the release very intelligently.
Yeah, I didn't sign the release, and it still went on the air.
It still went on.
Yeah, you could still see my back. Like they didn't use any dialogue,
Yeah,
but they
because
just
of course.
used like whatever, and it was
Right,
like
right.
Jerks with camera.
Well, that was
Oh
a great
my
Beth
God.
story ever told. The high,
The high
and
and
the
low.
low. Now, would you say that sitting here at this podcast doing a photo shoot with me back to high?
Yeah, we're back to we're good. We're good.
You're back to
Yeah,
green
I mean,
vajay?
as long as I get some orbit, I will mark this down as.
Hey,
a
I
good
want to thank our
experience.
sponsor, Orbit.
Yeah, I do
Seriously,
too.
we couldn't do the show without you, Rob. Thank you so much.
Oh,
man.
thanks for having me,
You're the
man.
best.
Rob.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's
Not
good
surprised.
to be back here. It's good to be back here,
Yeah.
and the timing of it all. It was. This is perfect.
Good. Yeah,
It's good to
no,
be back here.
I'm not surprised that you got more work, and I know you'll do a lot, and you'll be nice to The Price is Right when you're accepting your
man.
Oscar.
Thank
and
you
be
so
like,
much, man.
You know,
Thank you
thanks to The Price is Right, I wouldn't be here without you, and Mark Wahlberg is awesome.
I really will. I will say all the above. I will say all the above. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
that was Randumb. Yeah. Check, checkity check.
Ooh, you know what I will say though
Check.
is I did get the good mic.
Did you?
Get the good mic.
Bisgrove,
This time.
change out the mic.
Nope.
Change it out.
Biz Grove, switch the mic up.